Asato ma sadgamaya, tamaso ma jyotirgamaya, mrityurma amritam gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om, lead us from the unreal to the real, lead us from darkness unto light, lead us from death to immortality. Om, peace, peace, peace. Welcome back. Let me just chant the two verses which we did, and then we will move on. You can follow if you like. Natvam deho nate deho, natvam deho nate deho, bhokta karta nava bhavan, bhokta karta nava bhavan, chidruposi sada sakshi, chidruposi sada sakshi, nirapeksha sukham chara, nirapeksha sukham chara, ragadvesho mano dharma, ragadvesho mano dharma, namanaste kadachana, namanaste kadachana, nirvikalposi bodhatma, nirvikalposi bodhatma, nirvikara sukham chara, nirvikara sukham chara. Likes and dislikes, attachment, all of these are characteristics of the mind. The mind is not you, nor is it yours. Na manaste kadachan. At no point was the mind yours. Here is a principle. Objects have properties, and the properties reside in and belong to the objects where they stay. So, for example, this tablecloth could be, it's yellow, and my shirt is orange. Orange is the color of this shirt, and yellow is the color of this tablecloth. The orange is a property in the shirt, and the yellow is the property in the tablecloth. So the yellow will reside in the tablecloth, the orange will reside in the shirt. The properties of an entity or a substance reside in that substance. Now, if I am not the mind, then the properties of the mind will not be in me either. So the properties, for example, raga dvesha, likes and dislikes, attachment and aversion, excitement, boredom, love, hatred, desire, restlessness. These are all characteristics, properties of the mind. Seems so? But then if I am not the mind, then they are not my characteristics. They are in the mind. Even when the mind is restless, it is still perfectly all right, perfectly honest to say, I am not restless. If I experience the restlessness of the mind, I am not restless. Oh, my mind is so restless. So what's your problem? What do you mean? If you know the restlessness of the mind, if it is in the mind is an object, you are the subject. The mind is illumined, you are the illuminer. And if you know the restlessness of the mind, very good. In that means you are not restless. It is appearing to you, just when I know the yellow tablecloth, I don't become yellow thereby. The yellow is a characteristic of the tablecloth, it stays in the tablecloth. The orange is a characteristic of the shirt, it stays in the shirt. The race, the skin color, age, gender, the health, these are all characteristics of the body, and they stay in the body. They do not belong to you, the conscious self, or the self which is awareness. Similarly, characteristics of the mind also, they reside in the mind. It sounds like a dry and abstract philosophical fact, but it has tremendous consequences. Immediately sets you free from the body and its characteristics, from the mind and its characteristics. The body and the characteristics remain as they are. The mind and the characteristics remain as they are. And you can experience them. You can work with them, yet remain free from it. In the morning I quoted that wonderful phrase, Visparita Lochana Trayastu Vedantinaha. But the Vedantins are those whose all three eyes are widely open. Which means you're not only experiencing the world with these eyes, with all the senses, but with the eye of knowledge, you know that you are experiencing this as an appearance to you, the consciousness. You, the consciousness, you are separate from the world. Therefore, the world and its characteristics do not belong to you and do not affect you. You illumine them. And then it says, Nirvikalposi bodha. Then what am I? This raises the question, if I'm not the body, if I'm the body, I know what I am. I'm the skin and flesh and bones. If I'm the mind, I know what I am. I'm thoughts, emotions, memory. I am this person, embodied mind. An embodied mind is what we call a person. But if I am not the body, if I'm not the mind, if I'm not the person, then what am I? And he says, Bodhatma, the self is made of consciousness. Consciousness is the self. I'm using the words consciousness, awareness indifferently. Awareness itself is the self. Consciousness itself is the self. Bodhatma. And uses two characteristics to distinguish it from the mind. It's important to distinguish consciousness from the mind. Often what we think is the self, consciousness, is actually the mind. And these are the two ways, the instruments by which we can distinguish consciousness from the mind. He says, Nirvikalpa. Vikalpa means option, change, division. The mind undergoes several states. Waking, dreaming, sleeping, or comatose, or anesthesia, or high on drugs. And so nowadays, there's a big rage in the United States. People go to this called ayahuasca camps. So there are these camps offered in Peru, and you take them and you have all sorts of experiences. Now, all right, I generally am a little hesitant to say anything good about drugs because it often proves very detrimental to physical and mental health, and often they are very addictive. I know there's new, they call it the new pharmacology. It says not addictive, but that also they're finding to be addictive now. Anyway, so all of these are all divisions of the mind, states of the mind. You can change, you can induce different states in the mind. Just as every one of us, we wake, we sleep, we dream, these are induced states in the mind. And through drugs or disease or whatever, you can induce different states in the mind. These are vikalpa. And consciousness, nirvikalpa. It is the one light. Whether you are awake, or you are sleeping, or you are dreaming, or you are under anesthesia, or you are high in ayahuasca camp, whatever is going on, if you are experiencing it, awareness is illumining all these states. And that awareness is the same, nirvikalpa, without division, without change of state. There is no change possible. Nirvikara. The mind undergoes continuous change. Happy one moment. Just imagine, from the morning till today, how many times happy, how many times excited, how many times irritated, how many times bored, how many times alert, energetic, how many times tired. Same mind. So many changes. These changes are called vikara. But all of them were continuously revealed, experienced. Therefore, the consciousness which experienced all of them remains the same, nirvikara, without change. Mind is subject to change. Consciousness is not subject to change. This change and no change, this is a way of discerning consciousness from mind. Various states are possible. Only one, nirvikalpa. That is another way of discerning consciousness from mind. Consciousness in itself does not undergo change. You might ask, why not? Why not? Why do you say consciousness does not? It not only does not, I'll say it cannot. Why not? Think about it logically. Suppose consciousness undergoes change. Suppose. There are only two things are possible. Either that change is knowable or it is not knowable. If that change is knowable, then it becomes an object of knowledge. Change. Suppose you change the color of the tablecloth from yellow to red. You dip it in a strong red dye and becomes some shade of red. Now the color of the tablecloth changed, and I noticed the change. Remember, the object, the property will remain in the object. If I notice the change, what I am noticing is an object, and the property belongs to that object. I noticed yellow to red, but if I noticed it, it must belong to an object, different from me, the subject. If I notice a change in consciousness, then it cannot be a change in consciousness. It must become an object to consciousness. It must be the change of some object. Usually it is a change in the mind. This is one option. If there is a change, so-called change in consciousness, and it is knowable, then clearly it cannot be in consciousness. It cannot be a change belonging to consciousness. It must be a change belonging to something else, just by simple logic. The other option is, because someone might say, suppose there is a change in consciousness and it is not knowable. Not knowable. Consciousness changes, so it is not knowable. Then the natural response will be, why speak of it then? It's not at all knowable. It is not knowable, its effects are not knowable, untraceable. You're positing something that has no effect on anything at all. So, consciousness cannot change by sheer logic. Nirvikara. It's only when we distinguish consciousness from the mind that this kind of talk becomes reasonable. Otherwise, if you say consciousness cannot change, people will say, what are you talking about? It's changing all the time. When you're waking, it's one kind. When you're dreaming, it's another kind. When you're remembering, it's another kind. When you are experiencing pain, it's one other kind. When you're experiencing pleasure, it's another kind. When you're meditating, it's another kind. Well, that is consciousness illumining the changing mind. These are changes in the mind, in bodily states, in sensory states, in mental states, in emotional states. Consciousness does not have states to this way of thinking. Now, let's move on. So I am awareness, I am consciousness, and in consciousness I am aware of a body and a mind. All change pertains to the world, to the body and the mind and the senses, but I am constant awareness, sada sakshi, ever of the nature of illumination. All right. Now a question arises. How many consciousnesses? Another question arises. All right, I am consciousness, illumining, experiencing mind, body, world. But then what are this mind, body, world? Are they separate realities which I am experiencing? Or are they somehow one with me? What are they? How many such entities are there? Basically, what is the nature of the object and what is its relationship to the subject? What is the nature of this world, body, mind? These are all objects to consciousness. But what is the relationship of all of this to me? Just by the way, remember, whatever we are discussing here, it may sound rather abstract and philosophical, but it's directly related to you. It's directly related to me. We are talking about our innermost reality right here, right now. People might think it's abstract, theoretical. No, it is more real than all your talk about God and heaven and all of that. Those are speculative. Those are matters of faith. Those may be interesting, but it's 1 degree removed from you. But this is directly about you, directly about ourselves. How many such consciousnesses are there? Because we have an intuitive feeling, all right, so I'm not the body, I'm not the mind, I'm the witness of the body-mind. But then there are so many bodies here, and I assume so many minds here. Therefore, each body and mind must have a witness consciousness. So are there hundreds of witness consciousnesses, millions of witness consciousnesses, billions of witness consciousnesses? That's one question. And the other question is, what is this universe in relationship to me, the consciousness? And now those questions will be answered. Remember, till now it is not non-duality. It's not Advaita. It's very much duality. Earlier, before all this analysis, we inhabited a world of duality. The sense, duality means plurality. I am there, and you are all there. You are all separate from me. This table is separate from me. These clothes I'm wearing are separate from me. Now, after Vedantic analysis, I find even the body and the mind are also separate from me. This is a world of multiplicity, of plurality, of separation, of division. In Sanskrit, Bheda. It's not a world of Abheda, non-difference or oneness or non-duality. That has yet to be established. Now we move on to the 6th verse. Very beautiful verse. You can chant after me. Sarvabhuteshu chatmanam, sarvabhuteshu chatmanam, sarvabhutani chatmani, sarvabhutani chatmani, vijnaya nirahankaro, vijnaya nirahankaro, nirmamastvam sukhi bhava, nirmamastvam sukhi bhava. Realizing the self in all and all in the self, free from egoism and free from the sense of mine, be happy. Sarva bhuteshu chatmanam. In all beings, seeing the same consciousness, seeing yourself. I, the consciousness, am in all beings. What does this mean? So the claim here is there is one consciousness. Oh, really? And you are that one consciousness. There is only you. What about you, Swami? We are the same. We are one consciousness. Think about a dream. In a dream, you go in there and you forget that you're sleeping. You have a dream experience. You are there. There are other people in the dream, your friends, and you interact with them. Then you come out of the dream and you realize it was all a dream. Now, when we look back upon the dream, we realize I who was in that dream. And all the others who were in that dream, we are all one. I alone was all of them. And yet, being all of them, I did not have the experience of I am all of these people. No, I felt I am one person and you're all separate from me. It's only after waking up, I realized I was all of them. Being all of them in the dream, you still act as if you are one of them interacting with others. Isn't it? Just like this. Yet it is true that when you wake up, we claim that I was everybody in the dream. Like that, Vedanta is claiming right now we are all one consciousness. Not one body, obviously not. If you count, there are hundreds of people, millions and billions of people. Not just people, sentient beings, living beings, millions and billions of them. Not even one mind. Clearly our opinions and personalities and ideas and memories, they're all different. As persons, we are all different. But as consciousness, we are one. In the Bhagavad Geetā, 13th chapter, Krishna says, Sarva kshetreshu. He says, Kshetragyam chapi mang vidhi sarva kshetreshu bharata. In the 13th chapter, he tells Arjuna, look, these bodies are fields. And the one in this body who knows this field, who experiences it as I am here and I am experiencing this world, that knower in that body is called the knower of the field. Body, consider the body, call the body a field and yourself as the knower of the field. Now immediately a question in your mind will be, there's so many fields, then there must be so many knowers of the field. A million or thousands and hundreds of thousands of people, so hundreds of thousands of fields and hundreds of thousands of knowers of the field. Krishna says no. There is only one knower of the field, and he says, I am that one knower of the field in all fields. What does he mean by that? There's one consciousness illumining all bodies and minds. Not one mind, although ultimately it's one mind. In that sense, it's one body also. Swami Vivekananda says there is oneness throughout. Even at the material level, there is oneness. At the mental level, there is oneness. Material level oneness means you can consider this entire universe to be one ocean of matter. Matter, energy, space, time. One continuous ocean. You can imagine, you can conceive of our minds. Now it's easier to conceive of it with the worldwide net, knitting all the computers together. You can conceive of it as one mind. It's an ocean of mind. And in Vedanta we have terms for that. This ocean of matter all together is called Virat, the vast. The ocean of mind all together, all minds together, is called Hiranyagarbha, the cosmic mind. Consciousness plus this, all the minds together. Consciousness plus all minds and bodies together is called Virat. Consciousness plus all minds together is called Hiranyagarbha. This is the 11th chapter of the Bhagavad Geetā. when Arjuna, he says, I believe you. He tells Krishna, I believe that there is one consciousness in this universe, and you are that one consciousness, and you are an avatar, incarnation of God. I understand it and I believe it, but I want to see it. I want to experience it directly. What is he asking for? See, we are experiencing it all the time, but we are experiencing it, one commentator says, we are experiencing it in slices. Earlier you were experiencing outside the hall. Now we are experiencing inside the hall. Earlier you were experiencing other people. Now you are experiencing these people. A little later somebody else. And so throughout our lives, different places, different people, different kinds of food, different experiences, little by little, particle by particle, we are experiencing this universe. But suppose you are to experience it all together, at once, right now. And Krishna says, all right, since you're asking me, I will show you. And he does show him. But the result is horrifying. Arjuna is terrified. He says, stop. I don't want to see. Why would Arjuna be so scared? But just think about it. If you imagine all the people in the world, why they say public speaking is scary, people get afraid of speaking in public. One anthropologist said, in the animal world, if you stare, that's a sign of aggression continuously. Even dogs, when they look at each other, they look away and look at each other. We also, when we look at, we don't stare. We look and then look away and then look back. That's normal. If you stare continuously, that's intimidating, that's aggressive. Now in an audience, what happens public speaking? They're all staring at you. They're not aggressive. They want to know from you. But the animal part of our brains does not recognize that. An anthropologist said, the animal part of our brain interprets it as aggression. Here are 100 people all staring at me. Immediately, there's an automatic reaction. Fight or flight, that's the reaction. If you look at the dog continuously, the dog will look up at you and then look back at you. Either it will growl angrily or it will move away. It will get scared. Fight or flight. But when you are standing on the stage to speak, you cannot fight, you cannot fly away also. So reaction is tension and fear and all that. If 1,000 people are staring at you, if 10,000 people are staring at you, then how will it feel? Imagine Arjuna's state. It's like the commentator says, all beings in the universe. Imagine all 7 billion human beings, entire population of the earth. And all, elephants and tigers and whales and dolphins and insects and mosquitoes and flies and bees, all of them together in one cosmic being, and all the gods in heavens and all the demons in hell, all of them together in one cosmic being. And then it turns and looks at you. How will you feel? Arjuna says immediately, every hair on my body is standing on its end. It's like, he says, it's like 1,000 suns rising in the sky all at once when I look at this being in front of me. Oppenheimer quoted these verses when he saw the first atom bomb explosion. I come, time, the destroyer of worlds. As if 1,000 suns have risen in the sky at once. And so he's terrified. So that I am the one consciousness in all beings. This is the God, by the way. When we talk about religion, God, what is the conception of God in Vedanta? This is the conception of God in Vedanta. That one being, transcendent and immanent, in and through this universe and beyond this universe also. One consciousness in association with this universe and beyond this. This is the God of the universe. So, Krishna says, Kshetragyam chapi mam vidhi sarva kshetreshu bharata. In all beings, there is only one consciousness. And I am that consciousness. Sarva bhuteshu chatmanam. What am I? What is the self? Consciousness. Not body, not mind. As Shankaracharya says, Mano buddhya hankara chittani naham. In his famous 6 stanzas on Nirvana, I am not the mind, I am not the intellect, I am not the memory, I am not even the ego. Look at the interesting use of words. I am not even I. Even the I is an object. I means the sense of ego. I am that awareness, objectless, pure subject awareness, illumining the ego. The subtlest movements of the mind are also illumined by it. I am that Chidananda Rupa, Shivoham, Shivoham. I am of the nature of pure consciousness, pure bliss. I am Shiva, I am Shiva. That is what I am. This we have understood in these two verses. I am not the body, not the mind. That's the meaning. I am this limit, this unchanging awareness. And then he says, this awareness is common to all beings. Remember, not as a part. It's not like it's an ocean of awareness. We sometimes use, even Ashtāvakra uses such language. So it's an ocean of awareness. I can understand that. I am a part of it. I am awareness, you're also awareness, but you are another part of awareness, I'm another. There's no parts in awareness. It's just one awareness without division, which is in all beings. That awareness, sarva bhuteshu chatmanam, one consciousness in all beings. You should ask good questions about this. If I am one consciousness in all beings, I feel that I am experiencing the world through this body and mind right now. You feel like that. If I am one consciousness in all beings, I should feel I am experiencing the universe through all bodies and minds. I should feel like Krishna, the 11th chapter of Bhagavad Geetā. I am that cosmic being. But why don't I feel that? You should ask those questions. There'll be time. And then, sarva bhutani chatmani. All right, here comes a very profound, very deep question. All these beings, this entire world, now follow it in our own experience, like nose, catching hold of the nose, follow it in our own experience. I will give you 3 statements. This entire world appears to you, the consciousness. Statement 1. This entire world appears in you, the consciousness. In you, the consciousness. Statement 2. And third, this entire world is nothing but you, the consciousness. 3 things. It appears to you, the consciousness. That should be fairly straightforward. I am experiencing it. Here also, there might be a question. It's not that I am experiencing the entire world. A part of the world is appearing to me, and a part of the world is not appearing to me. A huge amount of the world. Outside this hall, right now, what is behind me is not appearing to me. It's appearing to you. When I look back, oh, it's appearing to me now. But that is not appearing to me now. So only a tiny fraction of the universe appears to me, the consciousness. You can't say the whole universe appears to you in the consciousness. But Vedanta says, yes, right now the whole universe appears to you, the consciousness. How? As the known and as the vast unknown. Make a distinction between consciousness and knowledge. Knowledge is using the instruments of knowledge, perception, inference, presumption, all sorts of different instruments of knowledge, science and religion, different ways of knowing. We use these instruments of knowledge to know the world. Only a tiny part of the world is known that way, and the rest remains unknown. For example, I can see what's going on in this room, but I can't see what's going on outside the room. It's all unknown to me. I can't see what's going on the far side of the earth, let alone the moon or under the ocean. Why? In this room itself, I can't see anything at the molecular level or at atomic level. I can't. So I know only a little bit with my instrument of perception, with ears, with eyes and ears and nose and tongue and touch, with instruments of scientific instruments, variety of scientific instruments. I know a little more, some more and more parts. And the rest of it remains as unknown. Unknown where? In your awareness. This is, I don't know if one grasps this. This is a tremendous thing to grasp. It took me a very long time to grasp it. This difference between unknown and yet in awareness. That there is a vast world of the unknown. But this vast world of the unknown is a fact in your awareness only. I give this example. We are the senior-most member of our Vedanta Society in New York is Bill Conrad. He is 100 years old. Last month he celebrated 100 years. And he has been in the Vedanta Society since 1955. And he says to me, Swami, it is not true that the world is in my consciousness. The world exists and we come as conscious beings into the world. A realistic approach, a common sense approach. The world is there and then I come as a conscious being. So I will prove it to you, Swami. Here we are sitting in this room. Now we will put a camera in this room and switch on the camera. Both of us will leave the room. The room will be, no conscious being is in the room. We will come back in the room and I will show you the pictures in the camera showing an empty room without any conscious beings. The room is existing. So room exists without any consciousness. The world exists. And then we come into it as conscious beings. World does not exist in your consciousness. Consciousness exists in the world and then knows it. This is common sense. What will you reply? Seems to be a strong case. Not at all. I said, Bill, in your awareness, you proposed this experiment. In your awareness, you put up a camera and you invited both of us to go out of the room. In your awareness, we left the room. In your awareness, we came back into the room. In your awareness, you switched on the camera. You took the picture from the camera. In your awareness, we saw an empty room. At which point did you step out of awareness? The whole experiment is conceived of and executed in awareness. The fact that there is a room outside awareness, no aware person is there, that's also a fact in your awareness only. No. Your consciousness and belief in life is just a recent phenomenon. The billions of years universe existed without life, without consciousness. So, how can you say the universe is in consciousness? There was no consciousness until a few million years ago. But the universe was there for billions of years. Scientifically, I can prove it. There's no conscious being, no living being, none of these vehicles. Remember, Upanishad calls it a taxi, chariot. None of these Uber chariots were available at that time. That does not mean consciousness was not there. Vedanta will say in one consciousness the entire universe appears. And then you have matter and energy, and at one time living beings evolve and consciousness embodies itself as sentient beings like us, jiva. That comes later. But how do you know consciousness was not there to begin with? It sounds all like crazy talk, but that's because we have convinced ourselves of the case for a materialistic explanation of the universe. And that's what is being seriously challenged by AI experts, by philosophers, by quantum theorists. In fact, Amsterdam, where I'm going from here, there is a wonderful philosopher, Bernardo Kastrup. So he has different take on this, that in fact he says consciousness is primary, not matter. So we're going to have one of his books is going to be released in Dutch, so we're going to have a conversation there. Sarva bhutani chatmani, the universe is an appearance in consciousness. And the universe is nothing but consciousness. Third statement. So what are the first two? Universe appears to you, the consciousness, as known and unknown. Universe appears in you. Now you can dispute this. No, Swami, I am in the universe. The universe is not in me. But you are in the universe only as a body. That's true. As the body, I am in this room. The room is there. In that space, the body is there. And so the body is in the room. Correct. But both body, this space, and the room are in awareness. I am aware of it. Suppose you were dreaming. You might say, Swami, you're just playing with words. No. Suppose you were dreaming. And we were sitting and talking like this, and then you woke up. Then wouldn't it be true that all the people were in you, the dreamer? That room was in you, the dreamer? The hall was in the space was in you, the dreamer? In you, the dreaming mind, the space, the hall, and all the audience, and you yourself, you all appeared in you, in that mind. Wouldn't it be true? It would be true. And it's such a natural thing, we always accept it. Somebody said, when this was being talked about, you are all pervasive consciousness. The whole universe is appearing in you. It's in India. When this kind of talk it was in Hindi going on. Somebody at the back of the audience said, I'll tell you in Hindi and translate, said, रुकिए महात्मा जी, मैं यहाँ हूँ वहाँ नहीं हूँ तो सर्वव्यापी कैसे हुआ? I am here, not even there. I'm such a small part of this room. How are you saying I am all-pervading consciousness? I am here, not there. Of course, he's thinking as the body. And then the teacher replied, but here and there, are they not both in you? Yahan or wahan, ye dono hi kya aap mein nahi hai? This idea of space, separation, here means here. Here means body, proximity. There means different distance from the body. I give this example. So I'm walking in Central Park in Manhattan. Here I am walking. There is the lake. Behind it is the skyline of Manhattan. There, here. Suppose I'm dreaming and I wake up. Then all the here and all the there, they will all be in the mind only. I, the one who was dreaming, where was I in all of that? I was everywhere. Or rather, more precisely, all of that was in me. Or more precisely, I alone appeared as all of that. So, this universe appears to you, the consciousness, number one. It appears in you, the consciousness, number two. And it is nothing but you, the consciousness. It just appears. That which is unchangeable appears as the changeless. That which is limitless appears as the limited. That which is consciousness, subject, appears as the object. Sarva bhutani chatmani, the entire universe appears in you. The profound concept which I referred to here is something called superimposition. This it's intimidating, but it's actually a simple concept. The idea is this. The Sankhyan approach, the dualistic approach is, yes, you are awareness. And the world, why are you calling it an appearance? It's really there. Here's a world. Here is solid table. There's a person. People are speaking, acting, working. There's time and space and all of this is real. It's there and you are aware of it. You are awareness, that's correct. And the world, material universe, time, space, objects, causation, they all exist separate from you. And you are interacting. Two kinds of reality interacting. Now a question will be, how? If there are two entirely different kinds of reality, at what point will they meet to interact? And will that point be consciousness or matter? On which side will it be? See, a similar problem appeared in a smaller form in European philosophy about 300 to 400 years ago. From which point the philosophy of mind at least has not moved 1 inch. And that was Descartes. We all read Descartes as, our school, Cartesian XY coordinates and all that. But he was a great philosopher and philosopher of mind. And he started on his great project of skepticism, doubting whatever could be doubted for a good purpose, to build knowledge on solid foundations. So doubting whatever could be doubted. I can doubt this world. How? It could be a dream. How do I know it's not a dream? Now we have seen Matrix movie. In that Descartes' time, Matrix movie was not there. Now we have the world of virtual realities. So it could be this is a dream. Even this body could be a dream. In my dream also I can see the body. So the body could be part of a dream. I can doubt the world. I can doubt the body. I can doubt everything except the fact that I'm doubting. To doubt, that doubt must appear. In that case, I am the doubter. I am the thinker of the thoughts. Cogito ergo sum. I think, therefore I exist. Vedanta would reverse that. I exist, therefore I think. I asked a philosophy professor, suppose Descartes is thinking. I exist. I think, therefore I exist. When he falls asleep, he does not think. So has Descartes disappeared? Every time he wakes up, does he pop into existence? No. I am, therefore I think. But anyway, Descartes' point is a solid point. That my very thinking shows that I exist. Even my doubting shows that I exist. In one of the commentaries, Shankara himself says, 800 years before Descartes, 700 years before Descartes, he says, Yaeva tasya nirakarta tasyeva atmasa. Whoever denies the existence of the self, that is the very self. That is the Atman itself. That proves the existence of the Atman. Hume, the great philosopher, he says, when I look up enter into myself and consider what I see there, I see a procession of perceptions, judgments, ideas, sensations, but I do not see anything corresponding to the self. So he doubts the existence of the self. Now there Vedanta would say to him, dear David Hume, the self is not perceived not because it does not exist, but it does not exist as an object of perception. You're looking for it. The one which is looking is the self, not what it finds. Obviously it cannot find itself. If it found itself, it would become an object. It is there as the experiencer of all objects. More or less the same idea which Descartes came to. I exist, I think, therefore I exist. But the problem is, with Descartes came the great dualism, mind-body dualism in Western philosophy of mind. It fell apart into two realms. Till today it has not been reconciled. Today's modern hard problem of consciousness, David Chalmers, is a direct descendant of Descartesian mind-body dualism. If the mind is separate from the body, how are they interacting? There was one Princess Elizabeth of, I think, Bohemia or something. I forget. Bohemia? Any philosophy student here? They can tell me. Princess Elizabeth. So she was a disciple of Descartes. Disciple in the sense they would write letters. I can see the younger people here going, what's a letter? It's like an email which you write on a piece of paper. And the young people will go, what's an email? They moved ahead from emails also. Yeah, I saw this cartoon. Somebody's asking somebody else, can we have a face-to-face meeting? And this guy says, I don't have that app. Is it a new app? I have Twitter and Facebook and Zoom and Skype, but what is this face-to-face? So this Princess Elizabeth, I think, if I remember her name correctly, she writes to Descartes that perhaps it is my poor womanly intellect. You know, as a woman, I am sure I'm not as intelligent as you are, but I can't understand how, if you are the mind and you're inhabiting a body, where does the mind and the body, they're two distinct things, where do they interact? The point of interaction, because at that point, what will be the point? Will it be mind or will it be body? And Descartes was cornered. He knew he was cornered. So he finally said, no, it is the pineal gland. In the pineal, yes, if you read about it, he says, the pineal gland, that is the point where the mind and the body interact. And then she pushes back. She won't let him go. The pineal gland is part of the body. At which point does it contact the mind? Then Descartes had to invent. In those days, physiology was not very advanced. There is some gas inside, vapors. He calls it vapors. Mind is pushing the vapor is pushing the pineal gland is pushing the rest of the body. She was very kind, she let him go, so all right. But the same question will arise to the Sankhyan philosopher. Consciousness and object. This entire universe is appearing in you, the consciousness. Question will be, at which point does consciousness contact the object? If the material universe is separate and consciousness is separate, at the point of contact, which is the point of contact? Is it consciousness or is it material universe? Is it something in between? Where is it interacting? It's interacting in us. Material universe and consciousness are interacting in us. I am conscious, and then there is the brain and nervous system and mind and all of that. At which point? There is no answer. Shankaracharya starts his famous commentary on the Brahma Sutras. The first part of that commentary is called Adhyasa Bhashyam, an essay on superimposition. He says, two completely distinct realities cannot interact. They are like light and darkness, self and object, self and the other, consciousness and object, subject and object. They are like light and darkness. They can at no point interact with each other. And yet all the time they are seen to be interacting in ourselves, in our lives. You are conscious, and you are conscious of objects. You are walking, talking, thinking, doing things within this material world. Consciousness is interacting with objects. How is it possible? And then he says it is possible in no other way except if it is a superimposition. Adhyasa. What is this superimposition? It is one thing taken as another. It is actually one reality, but it appears as two realities. It is actually consciousness, but it appears as consciousness and an objective universe. Why is consciousness able to interact with object? Why is subject able to interact with object? Why are you able to experience the world and act in it and have a body and all of that? Because this world, this body, this mind is actually nothing other than you, the consciousness. It is one reality, and therefore it can smoothly interact. See, in another way, what is science trying to do? To Descartesian dualism, science is trying to reduce it all to one reality called matter. If you can somehow show, scientists are begging for this, somehow to reduce consciousness to brain, then problem is solved. Problem is solved then. Because brain is matter. After that we know, it's in our area now. Good, forget it. You philosophers, goodbye. And spiritual people from a distance, goodbye. Now it is in matter, time and space, and we can analyze and we can work with this. But the problem, the headache for the scientists is, headache for the neuroscience people, headache for the consciousness studies people, the AI people, is that we are unable to find out the link between matter and consciousness. How to reduce consciousness to matter. That cartoon, I have mentioned it a number of times. I really liked it. In some place I saw the cartoon. PhD student presenting his thesis to the PhD committee. And so step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5. Step 1, 2, 3, all full of mathematics, the board is full of mathematics. Step 5, again mathematics. But step 4, it is written, step 4, a miracle. And the advisor is telling the student, I think you have to work on that step 4. Little more work is necessary. A miracle. That's what's happening here in consciousness studies. Brain is more and more, we are understanding the brain. That string theorist is there in Institute of Advanced Studies in Princeton. Very brilliant. Ed Witten. So in an interview, he's a string theorist, but somebody just asked him about consciousness. And he says, will be able to solve the problem of consciousness? And this is a very brilliant man. There was an article, the nearest thing that we have got to Einstein now in this world. Oh, in Germany, I'm talking about Einstein, so he's from here itself. So they asked Ed Witten, what do you think about consciousness? He said, as neuroscience advances, we will learn more and more about the brain, but consciousness will remain a mystery. We're trying to reduce consciousness to the brain activity. Unable to do it. Scientists are trying to do the same thing. Have one reality, material reality. But they are unable to do it. What Shankara is proposing, what Vedanta is proposing, you have one reality, but let that one reality be consciousness itself. And why should we accept this one and not that one? This one we should accept, that consciousness is the only reality because it is directly experienced by us all the time. We are conscious. We are experiencing a conscious reality here. And matter appears in consciousness as an object. In consciousness. That's also a fact of experience. Why not start there? Instead of starting with leave consciousness out, posit a material universe by itself, and then try to reduce consciousness into matter. Instead of trying to do that, why not start here, this way? Galen Strawson, who's a philosopher in UT Austin, retired now, he wrote a piece in New York Times, The Hard Problem of Matter. He says consciousness is no hard problem. You are imagining that consciousness is somehow produced by the brain, then you cannot explain how consciousness is produced by the brain, and hence hard problem. But why not the other way around? Consciousness is obvious. I am consciousness. And then matter appears to me. So what is matter is the question. And then he says, as we investigate matter more and more through physics, matter itself is dissolving before our eyes. So here, Advaita Vedanta's approach is to reduce matter back to consciousness. Matter, this universe, our bodies, and our minds also. According to Vedanta, even mind is matter. The old question in philosophy, every philosophy class, they'll start with this joke. What is matter? Never mind. What is mind? No matter. But according to Vedanta, even mind is matter. What is the definition of matter in Vedanta? Very elegant. Anything that appears to consciousness is matter. Object. Anything that so thoughts are also experienced, sensations are also experienced, pain and pleasure are also they are all matter. And matter is an appearance in consciousness. That which appears in consciousness is nothing other than consciousness. It appears in that way. It projects itself in that way. That beautiful story by that philosopher who was there in San Francisco. The book is very nice book. The name of the book is The Book. And the subtitle is the taboo against knowing who you are. What's his name? Alan Watts. So he tells this story in that book. Who are we? He says God existed. Like a child story, but very profound. God existed at the beginning of the universe. Nobody was there. Only God was there. Existed for eternity, and eternity is a long time. So God got bored. God wanted to play, but to whom will God play with? There's nobody else. So God thought for a long while what to do. God is awfully clever, so he came up with a plan. God said, "I will pretend to be not God." Now there are two, God and God pretending to be not God. Now I can play. But the problem is God is very good at what he does. So when he pretended to be not God, he completely forgot that he was God. And now God, who is pretending to be not God and forgotten that he is God, is searching for who am I? And that is the universe. So consciousness projects itself as this entire universe and enters into it through bodies and minds. So part of the projection as I am this sentient being, I am Sarvapriyānanda. Completely forgotten what my original nature is. And then goes around, attends Vedanta talks and all that and tries to realize who am I. Sarva bhutani chatmani, the entire universe, all beings appear in consciousness. Vijñāya, realizing this, hear about it, argue about it, reason about it, understand it, and then meditate upon it till it is assimilated. Nirahankara nirmama, you are immediately released from the thralls of the ego which says, I am this and these are mine. You're released from it because the entire universe appears to you, in you, as nothing but you. So the whole universe is yours. It's not that I am this and these are mine and everybody else is separate from me and those are not mine. No. Nirhankara nirmama. Then again, this is the beauty of Ashtāvakra. After all such metaphysics and such, he comes back, Sukhi bhava, be happy. How? Here in this, as this person, right now, be happy. Knowing that you are the transcendental consciousness. Entire universe appears in you. And then you appear as this one person. It's like living in a dream, knowing that it's your dream. Everybody here is you. And you are perfectly all right. No matter, in a happy dream, in miserable dream, in terrible times, in peaceful times, you are fine. And they are all one with you, including people you don't like. They are you also. Everybody. Then 7th and 11th verse we'll do together. They mean the same thing. Very beautiful verses. Vishwam spurati yatredam, Vishwam spurati yatredam, Taranga iva sagare, Taranga iva sagare, Tattvam eva na sandeha, Tattvam eva na sandeha, Chinmurte vijvaro bhava, Chinmurte vijvaro bhava. You are indeed that in which the universe manifests itself like waves on the ocean. O you intelligence, for intelligence read consciousness or awareness. Be you free from the fever of the mind. 11th verse. Tvayananta maham bodho, Tvayananta maham bodho, Vishwavichi swabhavata, Vishwavichi swabhavata, Udetu vastamayatu, Udetu vastamayatu, Nate vriddhi navakshatihi, Nate vriddhi navakshatihi. In you, who are the infinite ocean, let the waves of the universe rise or fall according to their own nature. That means no gain or loss to you. Two beautiful verses. I'm reading them together, 7th and 11th. So what is this universe? It's an appearance in you, the limitless consciousness. It is you. But you are appearing as other than yourself. And space, time, object, bodies, and other people, and you are also one person in that play, in that dream. So it appears in Vishwam Sfurati Yatredam. Sfurati means appears, shines, like waves on an ocean. So in an ocean, it breaks out into thousands of waves, like that. People, places, time, space, worlds. That entire ocean, Tattvameva, you are that. Nasandeha, there is no doubt about it. It's not a question of any kind of faith, not a question of any kind of, possibly, it sounds, Americans would say, it sounds cool. No, it's just the way things are. And you are that. Chinmurti, here, your name, he says, oh, you, the consciousness. Murti means form, but here consciousness is formless. So you, whose only essence, your only reality is consciousness. Vijvaro bhava, be free of fever. The fevered existence of the mind, of the individual being, which is driving us from lifetime to lifetime. I want this, I don't like that, these are my projects in life, this is my dream, these are all my regrets and unhappinesses. And then I want to know what I was in past life. Can't handle this one life, past life. Swami Vivekananda scolded, I think it was Sister Christine or Nivedita who said that is it possible to awaken memories of past life? Patanjali Yoga Sutra shows you how to awaken memories of past life. Swami Vivekananda scolded her and said, sufficient unto the day the evil thereof. In this life, can't handle this much. What do you think you will uncover when you uncover your past memories? More of this nonsense. Much more. And terrible things. What's the use? So, and if you want to know what past lives were, take a look. Actions have consequences. Causes have effects. We are seeing the past life in its effects right now. What we are today is what we have made of ourselves in many past lives. This is what we are. Goal is to realize the truth about all of this. Not to cover one illusion with another layer of illusion. Which we are doing nowadays, by the way. With virtual reality, one more layer of social media, virtual reality, and it's becoming even more with the advent of AI and all of that. Chinmurti, Vijvaro bhava. Be free of the fever. The moment we are attached to the mind, we are in fever. High temperature. In high temperature fever, we don't see things as they are. Be free of this fever. And then Ashtāvakra will say, come back into this appearance of body, mind, and live this life, no problem. As long as this body lasts, this particular game of this particular life lasts, live. You will be living as a Jivan Mukta, free while living in this world. Another example he gives is ocean. In you, the infinite ocean, limitless ocean of consciousness. I keep saying limitless, limitless. Very precise meaning is there in Vedanta of this word limitless. Desha kala vastu aparichinna, not limited by time, space and object. What does it mean limitless? In a simple way, limit means the existence of something other than you. Why? Because that's where you stop. What is the limit? What is the limit of the ocean? The shore. That's where the ocean stops and the shore begins. What's the limit of Germany? The Poland, the border is there. There's the limit and then something else begins. What's the limit of the earth? And the atmosphere and then the exosphere is there. Outer space begins beyond that. Limit. But if there's nothing other than you, the consciousness and everything else which appears to you is an appearance in you, then nothing is a limit to you. There is no object, nothing in this universe, nowhere, no place, no time, no object which is other than you. You yourself are appearing as that. Then you are limitless. You are what is called in the Upanishad Bhuma, the vast, without limit. There is no place which is other than you. Space itself appears in you, like the space in a dream. Therefore, you are all pervading. Sarvavyapi. There is no time other than you, because time itself appears in you. Therefore, you are nityam, eternal. And most importantly, there is no object other than you. No second reality apart from you. No second, non-dual, in Sanskrit, advaitam. So you are sarvavyapi, nitya, advaita. All-pervading, eternal and non-dual. But which you? Not the body. Not the person. You as the awareness itself, which you are right now. All the time you were. You said, yeah, I'm awareness plus mind and body. No, that's nonsense. Because this mind and body are continuously changing. You can't hold on to it. If you had the mind and body really, it would always be there with you. But it's not. The moment you fall asleep, you lose track of the body. The moment you go into deep sleep, the mind itself disappears. But you are. And this, more so, this mind, body, and the world, extension in time and space, they are all appearances in you. So you are the limitless ocean of awareness. What is this universe? It's a wave which comes up in you. See, a wave is not different from you. A wave is not different from the ocean. So the ocean itself comes up as a wave. This universe itself appears as a wave. And then he says, Udetu vastamayatu. Let the wave arise, let the wave subside. The ocean is not increased thereby, the ocean is not decreased thereby, because the quantity of water in the ocean remains the same. Similarly, you, the consciousness, you are not increased. You as Brahman, Atman, pure consciousness, we are not increased if there is birth. We are not decreased if there is death. We are not increased if there is success. We are not deflated if there is failure. Health and disease, wealth and poverty, success and failure, joy and regret. These waves may come and go. You are neither increased by any of this, nor decreased by it. And then the beauty of Ashtāvakra will be, we might think, then what's the point of it? It will say, now have fun. Then only you begin to live. Vivekananda, when he went to the West, in America, he met the great agnostic Ingersoll, Robert Ingersoll. And Robert Ingersoll said to him that, I don't believe in all this religion. I believe in living this life and squeezing the orange of this life dry, getting every drop from it. Vivekananda said, I believe the same thing too. Only in my choice of fruit we differed. I prefer a mango. But I will show you how to squeeze this life so that you get every last drop from it. Then he explained so beautifully. I'm only paraphrasing. Vivekananda says to Ingersoll, imagine knowing for sure that you cannot die. You will not be in a hurry anymore. You can take your time. Imagine knowing the joy of knowing the world is one with you. Where is the limit to your enjoyment in this world? The world is one with you. He says, squeeze the orange of life. They squeeze the life in this way. Live life in this way. Get 10,000-fold more. Get every last drop. Vivekananda saying to Ingersoll. This is what Ashtāvakra says. Sukhi bhava. Be happy. Sukham chara. Move around. Work. Do what you have to do in life. Work, enjoy, play, whatever you have to do in life. It will be an expression of your limitless joy. Live life in this way. Get 10,000-fold more. Every last drop from life. All right. I had promised time for question answers. So we should go into, we should do some question answers. Let me tell you two stories. I remember the stories of Swami Sarvapriyānanda. While you think of questions, the procedure for asking questions will be, I think, you can just ask. A mic? Oh, there's a mic. Oh, he is raising. Nick is there. He's raising his hand. You ask for the mic and you speak into the mic. While you get ready, let me tell you these two stories about Swami Sarvapriyānanda, whom I have never seen, but Maharaj has seen him. And from those who have seen him, I've always heard he is a remarkable person. So everybody has some anecdote about him. I'm telling you two stories which Swami Sarvapriyānanda himself told to illustrate Vedanta, and then you can see why he was such an amazing teacher of Vedanta. One is about the concept of heaven. So in Vedanta and all Hindu philosophy and all Buddhist, Jain philosophy, Indian thought in fact, heaven is a place. It's a temporary place. It's a wonderful place, much better than our this world, better than Germany also. And you can go to heaven, but you can only stay there temporarily. You have to come back again. Whatever, if you have a lot of good karma, after death you get to go to heaven. And there's not one heaven, there are multiple heavens. So you get to go there and you enjoy your time there, but time will be over, you come back. To illustrate that, Sarvapriyānanda says, so this was in the 1950s, 60s. When I come from South Africa to India, I board my flight in, at that time I think in Durban probably, to come to Mumbai. At that time it was called Bombay. So I board the flight, and when I purchase a ticket, and then I get into the plane, the air hostess is there, she says, come, this is your seat. And he's literally translating from the Vedas. After death, when the person who has got a lot of good karma has performed Vedic sacrifices, there are divine beings who come and say, Ehi, come, this is the heaven earned by your punya, your great merit. You will go to this heaven, come. They escort you to your seat. So they escort me to my seat. And then we fly. They announce you're flying at 35,000 feet in the air at so many hundreds of kilometers per hour. And then they will show, in those days they did not have the small screens. They had a big screen in which they used to show a movie. And then the air hostess will come with nice food and drink. And it is nice and cool. And I relax. So nice. Just the time I'm getting used to it. Landing. Thank you for flying Air India. We have landed in Mumbai. It is 100 degrees in the shade outside and 100% humidity. I say, no, I want to stay here. No, thank you. You can fly again with us. But you have to purchase another ticket. Next life. You can come back again. So that was his explanation of heaven. You go there, you have a wonderful time, but by the time it's over, immediately you're set back into this world again. You want to come back again? Do more Vedic sacrifices, earn a lot of more merit. You can come back again temporary. So it was a nice story. Then the second one, to illustrate Vedanta, what we talked about now. He gave the example of Howrah Station. Those who have not gone to Calcutta, it's worth experiencing Howrah Station. It's a railway station, but it is not like Germany. So you have tens of thousands of people rushing to catch all these trains. It's an enormous operation. I don't know if hundreds of thousands or millions of people pass through it. And he says on platform number 1, and in those days the most famous train was called Rajdhani Express, the Capital Express. It's coming, and the station master is watching. So the express train comes, and a lot of people are getting on, a lot of people are getting off. There's a busy activity and a lot of movement. And then the train departs from this platform. Station master is watching. Station master did not come in with this train, did not go out with the train. Next, a goods train is coming in. Huffs and puffs and comes in. Nobody's there. Just the driver and the guard get down for a cup of tea and get on board the train, and then the train leaves. Station master is watching. And now the platform is empty. Station master is watching. This he uses to illustrate the waking, dreaming, deep sleep and the witness consciousness. The waking world is like the Capital Express, the Rajdhani Express, full of its promise and problems and all sorts of things. Early in the morning when you wake up, here is my life. You have to get up quickly and go to the washroom and then rush off to office. This is the Capital Express. It is chugged into your platform of awareness. Station master is the awareness who's watching. And then afternoon or night when you go to sleep, the train leaves and a goods train comes in. Dream world, smoky, nothing much vague. You are watching, the station master is watching. And then that leaves also, deep sleep. Nothing is there, empty platform. Station master is watching. Who is the station master? You. What is that Capital Express, the Rajdhani Express? Your waking life, what you call my life. It's one train. You watched it come in and go away. Your entire dream world is another train. And no train at all, empty. That also you are watching. That's deep sleep. Very good example. You did not come in with this life and you will not leave with this life. You are the watcher of that. It's just an example. All right, question.
Okay, my question. In the waking state, there are a lot of people. And normally I believe that everyone is experiencing the same waking world from a first-person point of view, from a different perspective. And is there any possibility for me to really know for sure if this is true?
No. And Vedanta says that's great, because Vedanta will say that all first-person perspectives are due to this one consciousness. Shining upon that mind, it gives you a first-person perspective there. Shining upon that mind, it gives a first-person perspective in that mind. And like that, in each mind, wherever there is a mind, consciousness shining upon that will give a first-person experience. I see, I hear, I smell, I taste, I touch, I enjoy, I suffer. So all of this is, at every sentient being, first-person experience is going on. But the only thing that you can know for sure is consciousness itself, which you are. I don't know if that was your question. Are you asking in philosophy there is a whole problem of...
if I can know for sure, in Western philosophy it would be the question
of other minds.
Can I know for sure that solipsism is false? So
yes.
Is this different than a dream?
Yes,
somehow?
Yes. You cannot know this for sure, but this is different from solipsism. I'll tell you why. In philosophy, solipsism is taken as a fault. And the problem is it's very difficult to disprove. The reason it's difficult to disprove is because all our experience is from a first-person perspective. I am experiencing everything else. Whatever you tell me, science, religion, philosophy, everything is from, I am the experiencer and this is all part of my experience. How will you disprove this? However, what Vedanta does is not solipsism. Vedanta sometimes may be misunderstood as solipsism. Solipsism is, I alone am real, you are part of my experience, my dream. Just as when we wake up from the dream, I was the dreamer and nobody else was there in the dream except me. But it appeared as if so many people were there. And right now, if I claim the same thing, that I alone am there, and you are all appearing to me, how do I know you exist? You might be part of my dream. That's solipsism. But Vedanta doesn't say that. Vedanta says even this I, this so-called I, is a composite entity. Even this includes a body which is a part of the of appearance. The mind also is a part of that appearance. The consciousness to which the body and mind appear, that is the reality. Solipsism will make that mind the reality, the one conscious observer the reality, whereas Vedanta makes that one consciousness the reality. So how does this improve things? Well, that one consciousness is common to all minds. If there are many minds, they would all be lit up by that one consciousness. So in that sense, it is not solipsism. In fact, Vedanta will say it is one consciousness common to all beings, and all beings are admitted. Suppose you say, I don't admit all beings. Suppose I take the solipsistic position, that I only exist and I am experiencing all of this. There also Vedanta will work. See, Vedanta has different ways of explaining it. One is admitting this world and all beings. This is called Bahujivavada, the position from multiple sentient beings. But if you take the solipsistic position, Vedanta will say, all right, even there, that's not the final position. Vedanta will say that solipsistic observer has to be also analyzed. And you will find in that solipsistic observer, body, mind, and solipsistic experiences all are appearing to consciousness. That also will work. That Vedanta has there is a sub-school of Vedanta which does that. It's called Eka Jiva Vada, one sentient being.
Because I was thinking if someone takes Occam's razor seriously, would the solipsistic position
be the ultimate result? Yes, in Vedanta it would not be. It would go even further than that. It would go, even the solipsistic observer would be cut apart by Occam's razor. Even the body and the mind will become observed phenomena, and consciousness alone remains. I mean, if you are thoroughgoing using Occam's razor, if you cut even further, Vedanta will say consciousness is the only reality, and then the entire universe, body, mind, other bodies and minds, all of them are appearances in that one consciousness. That would be Vedanta's position. Vedanta's claim is that it's not a speculation. It's rather, it's claiming to be an accurate description of how things are right now.
So it's independent of other minds.
Independent of other, what is independent of other minds? Consciousness?
The teaching of Vedanta. So if
No, the teaching of Vedanta presupposes mind and universe and body. Even that's a very interesting thing. What is reality in Vedanta? In Vedanta, that pure consciousness is reality, and everything else is an appearance. What about Vedanta itself? It's an appearance. When the one monk was teaching this, in Hindi it is very funny. He says, तो ये बताइए वेदांत बाबू, आपका वेदांत सत्य है कि नहीं? So tell us this, Mr. Vedanta, is your Vedanta part of the appearance or not? It is. Then the question will be, then your Vedanta is also not ultimately real. No, it is not. Only that which is taught by Vedanta, pointed out by Vedanta, pure consciousness, that is ultimately real. Then the question will be, how can something that is not real point to the reality? Vedanta is not real, you're saying. You yourself admit it. It cannot be. It's also an object. It's also something in the appearance. After all, Vedanta is going on here in the realm of appearance. How can the unreal reveal the real? And there also the answer is very subtle. Interesting. Vedanta does not have to reveal the real. The real is always self-revealed. It's always shining. Vedanta only has to remove our misconceptions about it. Misconceptions are part of the appearance. And Vedanta is part of the appearance. In the appearance, Vedanta comes and removes the misconception. Reality is ever self-evident and shining. It's like the sun is shining in the sky. It seems to be covered by a patch of cloud. Then a wind comes and blows away the cloud. Sun is revealed. The wind did not reveal the sun. The wind just blew away the cloud. Vedanta is like that wind which blows away our misconception about ourselves. What the truth is does not have to be taught. It becomes clear. See, if you think that the Vedanta, I'll put it this way. In Ashtāvakra, when you listen to Ashtāvakra, two reactions are possible. One is the intellect says, I get it, this is brilliant. Or it says, I don't get it, what are they talking about? Both are equally useless. Because if the intellect says, if I don't get it, that's useless, you still have not got it. If the intellect says, I have got it, then the next intellect will say, I have got it intellectually, but I am not Brahman. Yes, one step beyond getting it intellectually. It should become self-evident, completely uncontroversial. So Vedanta is also part of the appearance, correct? And it has to be. Otherwise you will have two truths, Brahman and Vedanta, consciousness and Vedanta. Then it becomes so dualistic. Please pass down I'll come to you. Please pass down the microphone to somebody else. I think you can also tell us your name and ask the question. Anybody else? And then we'll go to the lady behind you, yes.
Namaste, my name is Chinmay.
Yes.
I have question regarding Mahavakyas or Brahmavakyas. It is, the one of them is I am Atma Brahma.
Yes.
So it is this.
This very self is Brahman.
Yeah. So when we say this, but just we discussed in Chetan Jadavada, when whatever we say this cannot be true.
Yes.
So when we say self is not true, but so which self it is pointing out to?
No, so you're using this. Yeah. This self is true. Yeah. But that's an English word.
Yeah.
I am.
Yeah.
Shankaracharya says, Anguli Niddesha, like a finger pointing inwards to yourself. You cannot designate it. When you say this, it did not say idam, this self, like this table, this glass of water, not even this shirt, not even this body. This self, I am Atma, but have you been able to point it out as this? When you try to point it out, you will see you cannot point it out. It becomes yourself. So, it will never be the object of this. And if you follow it up, you will realize I am that. But that when you say I am that, it will never be an object of that. Language cannot designate it.
Yeah, yes. Exactly. It cannot designate it.
Language cannot designate. Language can point to it. Yes. The lady there, yeah. tell us your name and ask the question.
Yes, my name is Jana, and my question is the relative reality, the empirical reality, somehow seems so hardwired and sticky when it comes to natural laws and physics and stuff. And even an enlightened master can die of cancer because of tobacco or something like this. The rules are very hardwired. When ultimately, in ultimate reality, everything is consciousness, just as a thought experiment, couldn't Maya or the empirical reality also be changed, and natural law could be changed? Or is it just like a elaborate hide-and-seek play?
Okay. The straight answer to you is yes to both. Can it be changed? Yes. Or elaborate hide-and-seek play? Yes. I'll tell you why. First, can it be changed? Yes, but who can change it? Here, I have to enter into the concept of, there's a technical word called upadhi. Upadhi. Upadhi in Vedanta means, it's translated as an incidental adjunct, which makes no sense at all, but it's like this. You have this water, transparent, it's transparent water. Now I put this orange cloth behind it. Does it look orange to you? Yes? And now it looks transparent again. I put this blue book behind it. Does it look blue to you? Little bit? No, not so much. Little bit. All right. So the orange cloth and the blue book, these are called upadhis for this transparent water. Now, the interesting thing is, when I hold up the blue book and it looks blue to you from a certain angle from that side, the water looks blue, you know that the water is not blue. It's transparent, but it looks blue. If I put an orange cloth near it, it looks orange, but it is not orange. So an upadhi is something which by proximity seems to transfer its qualities into another entity. Remember our rule? The qualities remain in that entity. Blue book, the blue color remains in the blue book. And it does not go, the blue color will not travel into that transparent water, but it appears to. Okay. Now, body, mind, prana, intellect, these are like upadhis. They appear in consciousness and then appear to transfer their qualities, like blue or orange being transferred to the colorless water. They appear to transfer their qualities to consciousness. Tall or short, body qualities transferred to consciousness. I am tall, I am short. But this is easy to distinguish. But even as you come closer and closer, subtler and subtler, hungry, thirsty, they are prana qualities. They are supposed to be in the prana, like blue is in the book, not in the water. But I, the conscious entity, I say, I am hungry, I feel hungry. I am thirsty, I feel thirsty. Even more powerfully, the qualities of the mind, angry, depressed, unhappy, joyful, fulfilled, pure, sinful, all of these are qualities of the mind, but they appear to be transferred to me, like blue from the book to the water. They appear to be transferred to me, the consciousness, but they are not in me, but I feel as if I am that. Depending on the upadhi, so I become this sentient being, jiva, this being called, right now it is called Sarvapriyānanda. I go from lifetime to lifetime. I have forgotten my real nature is limitless consciousness. Now, there is another kind of upadhi. So there's one kind of upadhi I told you about, body, mind. So we all as sentient beings, we have these upadhis. Vedanta is saying you are actually like this transparent water. You are not orange, you are not blue, even though you look blue. Sometimes you look orange. But you are not blue at no time. Are you blue or orange? You are not a man or a woman. You are not tall or short, white or brown or black. You are not old or young. You are not happy or sad or miserable or guilty or pure and joyful. No, those are all qualities of the upadhis. They are as if being transferred to you. All right. Now there is another special kind of upadhi, which is the cosmic upadhi, where consciousness is associated with the entire universe. This cosmic upadhi is called Maya. With this upadhi, with this set of upadhis, body, mind, we can do some things. I can sit here and talk to you. You can sit there and listen to me and understand. Remember, these are the limited powers of these upadhis. But if consciousness gets the upadhi of Maya, it gets unlimited power. It is what is called God. Consciousness, the same consciousness. You, the same consciousness. With this body and mind, you are called jnana now. But you, the same consciousness, with all bodies and minds, with the entire universe, with the power of Maya, you are called God. As jnana, with these upadhis, you cannot change the structure of time, space and causality. You seem to be within it. As God, you, the same one, with the upadhi of the cosmos of Maya, you can change it. Moment you say change, you're trying to do something. When you do it, you're already within Maya. You're either a jiva or you're Ishvara. If you're jiva, sentient being like you, I, we can do small things. If you are Ishvara, you can do tremendous things. You can alter the very nature of time and space itself. And God does that. That's why in all religions, in Hinduism especially, karma, the doctrine of karma is cause and effect. And we are subject to it. But God is the master of it. That's why we pray in every religion. What do we pray for? For something to be not this way or the other way. We want things to be changed, usually in our favor. And there's a great truth here. The one which we are praying to is omnipotent. It can change. It can play with the structure of time, space and causation. But that depends on the upadhi, not on pure consciousness itself. In pure consciousness itself, there is no cosmos to play with. It's just awareness. It is consciousness playing at being other than consciousness. It is God playing as not God. Then only changes are possible. Second, is it hide and seek? Yes, but why I'm saying yes, that reminds me of what a monk said. This whole life and cosmos is a game of hide and seek. We are playing with God. In the time of, we see of the Hindu system of the continuous cycle of creation, preservation and destruction, multiple universes being created, existing and disappearing. So when universes, the whole universe, entire multiverse, it disappears. Only God exists with Maya. Pure consciousness with the cosmic upadhi exists. So God thinks, where did those fellows go? They're all hiding. So we are all hiding. God is looking for us. Where did they go? Then he finds us and throws us out into this cosmos, prepares us, projects a new universe and throws us out. Go and play. And then God himself hides. Now we are looking for God. Where did God go? So it's a hide and seek. That monk said, it's a hide and seek. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Shri Ram Krishna Arpanamastu.